Have you ever felt that moment when someone questions your decision, misreads your intention, or casually says, "I don't think that's a good move," and suddenly you feel that heat in your chest, that urgency to explain, to clarify, to defend? You start building sentences in your head, trying to construct the perfect bridge so they'll finally understand you. But here's the hard Stoic truth: every time you rush to justify yourself, you're not building a bridge, you're quietly handing over your power. The moment you explain something that wasn't asked out of real curiosity, you step into a courtroom you never agreed to enter. You become the defendant. They become the judge, and the verdict, it's based on their fears, their insecurities, their limited perspective, not your reality. Why would you put your worth on trial in someone else's mind? When you feel the need to explain, what you're really saying is, "Please approve of me." And the more you seek that approval, the more authority you give away. Strong people don't need to convince. They decide, they act, and they let their life speak later. Next time you feel cornered, pause. Ask yourself, am I explaining to inform, or am I explaining to be accepted? Because those two are not the same. Stoicism is not about being emotionless. It's about self-governance, radical self-governance. It's about understanding that your life is your responsibility, not the crowd's opinion, not the comment section, not even your family's expectations. Think of your character as a fortress, solid, steady, built brick by brick through discipline, integrity, and hard choices. Now imagine weakening that fortress every time you look outside and ask, "Do you approve?" The moment you depend on applause, you hand over the keys to the gate. We crave validation because it makes us feel safe. Somewhere along the way, we learned that being understood equals being secure. But Marcus Aurelius asked a powerful question: if no one praises an emerald, does it stop being valuable? If a fool calls gold too heavy, does it turn into lead? Of course not. Its nature remains the same. And so does yours. Your value does not rise and fall based on who claps or who criticizes. When you explain yourself, what you're really saying is, "Please allow me to be who I am." But why would you need permission to live a life that only you have to wake up to every morning? You are the one carrying the weight of your choices. You are the one living the consequences. So govern yourself accordingly, not according to applause, but according to principle. Let's talk about something most people never admit: managing other people's perceptions is exhausting. Think about how much energy you've spent replaying conversations in your head, rewriting texts before you send them, adjusting your tone so no one misunderstands you, trying to shape how others see you. It feels responsible, mature even. But in reality, it's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands. The tighter you grasp, the faster it slips away. And here's the danger: the more you manage perceptions, the more you slowly reshape yourself to fit expectations. You start filtering your opinions, softening your edges, living cautiously instead of honestly, without realizing it. You become a version of yourself designed for approval, not truth. Stoicism draws a hard line in the sand: your actions, within your control; your effort, within your control; your integrity, within your control. But someone else's thoughts, their interpretations, their private judgments, completely outside your jurisdiction. So why are you working overtime on a job that isn't yours? You cannot fix what doesn't belong to you. You cannot edit the movie playing in someone else's head. The real power move is simple: focus on your conduct. Let them handle their conclusions. Protect your energy, guard your peace, and stop bleeding effort into battles you were never meant to fight. There is a kind of power most people are afraid to use. It's not loud, it doesn't argue, it doesn't defend itself, it's silence. Silence creates space, and in that space, something powerful happens. People are forced to sit with their own projections. When you stop explaining, stop correcting every misunderstanding, stop jumping in to defend your name, you remove the fuel from the fire. What's left? Just your character. And over time, character speaks louder than any explanation ever could. Integrity shows up in how you treat people when no one's watching. Discipline shows up in your consistency. Results show up in your life. You don't have to announce growth. You just have to grow.
Think about the people you respect most. Do they justify every move? Do they post a detailed explanation for every decision? No. They move with quiet confidence. They walk their path without broadcasting the map. Because real confidence doesn't need a microphone. It doesn't panic when misunderstood. And here's the hardest part. When you feel the urge to defend yourself, pause. Feel the words rising. Then swallow them. It will feel uncomfortable. It may even feel like you're losing. But in that silence, you're winning something much greater: mastery over yourself. There is a powerful lesson from the Stoic teacher Epictetus, and it is uncomfortable for most of us. When criticized, he didn't say argue. He didn't say defend your honor. He said, in essence, smile. Acknowledge that you are human. If someone points out a flaw, maybe they are right. And if they are wrong, why let their misunderstanding disturb your peace? Detachment from other people's narratives about you, that is mastery. The moment you stop trying to control the story others tell about you, you become free. Because now your energy returns to the only place it belongs: your own conduct. And let's be honest, many of us secretly act as our own PR agents. We manage perceptions. We issue explanations. We draft public apologies for private growth. But Stoicism asks something simpler. If you made a mistake, fix it. Quietly. Improve the behavior. Move forward. If you made a bold decision, changed careers, ended a relationship, started over at 50, continue walking. You don't owe the world a roadmap of your transformation. Your life is not a press release. Let your correction be your apology. Let your progress be your announcement. And let your peace come from knowing that character, not reputation, is what truly endures. There's a reason silence makes people uncomfortable. When you constantly explain yourself, justify every decision, and clarify every move, you become manageable, predictable, easy to categorize. People know where to place you. They feel safe because they can label you. But the moment you stop explaining, the moment you quietly focus on your work, your discipline, your growth, something shifts. You become dangerous. Not in a hostile way, but dangerous to complacency. Dangerous to those who need everyone around them to stay small, predictable, and easy to control. When you don't ask for permission to evolve, you remind others that they could evolve too. And that's unsettling. Now let's be clear, this is not arrogance. Arrogance is loud. It needs to be seen. It needs applause. It announces itself before it has earned anything. Self-sufficiency is different. It is quiet. It doesn't rush to prove. It doesn't chase validation. It moves with calm certainty because it answers to something deeper. Ask yourself this: who is your judge? If it's the crowd, you will always feel unstable. But if it's your own conscience, your own standard of integrity, then you are grounded. You can walk into any room without shrinking or performing. Silence is not weakness. It is self-trust. And when you trust yourself fully, you don't need the world to understand you. We live in a time where silence feels almost illegal. Every thought must be posted. Every emotion must be shared. Every success must be announced and approved. It's as if a victory doesn't count unless it collects enough likes. And slowly, without realizing it, we begin to measure our worth by reaction instead of reality. This is the culture of oversharing, not connection, but compulsion. Not expression, but validation seeking. We've been trained to believe that if something isn't seen, it isn't valuable. But let me ask you something: who were you before the audience? There is a different kind of power, one the Stoics understood deeply. The quiet satisfaction of doing something difficult and telling nobody. Improving your health without posting the transformation. Building financial discipline without announcing your goals. Repairing your character without broadcasting your struggle. That kind of growth builds internal wealth. And here's the truth: what is internal cannot be stolen. Applause can disappear. Trends change. Public opinion shifts overnight. But the discipline you built in silence, the resilience you forged in private, that stays. Break the cycle. Do something great this week and resist the urge to announce it. Let your reward be the strength you feel inside. There are two kinds of people in this world. The first kind spends their energy explaining. They manage their reputation carefully. They replay old conversations in their head. They defend, clarify, correct. They are always responding to yesterday's opinions. And without realizing it, they become stuck there, emotionally tied to the past, trying to fix narratives that no longer matter. The second kind moves differently. They build. While others talk, they train. While others debate, they develop skill. While others argue about perception, they focus on progress. They understand something simple but powerful: the future is not built through explanation, it is built through action. Now zoom out 5 years. Imagine where consistent, silent effort could take you. The promotion they doubted you'd earn. The business they said wouldn't work. The health transformation they thought you couldn't sustain. Quiet builders reach heights critics never imagined, not because they argued better, but because they worked longer. And when that day comes, you won't need to say, "I told you so." Your presence will say it. Your success will say it. Your peace will say it. Let others manage opinions. You manage your discipline, because in the long run, results speak, and they never need to raise their voice. Let's end with this truth. Your life is not a brand to be managed. It is a reality to be lived. Somewhere along the way, many of us started treating our lives like marketing campaigns, carefully editing, constantly explaining, always adjusting the narrative. But Stoic wisdom reminds us of something freeing: you don't owe the world a constant explanation of who you are. If someone truly understands you, they don't need an explanation. If someone is committed to misunderstanding you, no explanation will ever be enough. So why exhaust yourself? Be the mountain. The mountain does not explain its height. It does not justify its existence. It does not argue with the weather. Storms come, winds criticize, seasons change, and still it stands. Solid, unmoved, enduring. From this moment forward, no more defensive texts sent at midnight. No more circular conversations trying to convince someone of your worth.
See how the leaves fall, my
No
son.
more seeking
They remind
permission
us of the
to
fleeting
grow
nature
into
of all
who you're
things.
becoming. Instead, let your results speak. Let your character speak. Let your inner authority guide you. And let silence be your power. Stand firm in who you are becoming. Not loud, not defensive, not performative. Just steady, just grounded, just like the mountain.